You bring the rays together. Palpatine, the third eye. Palmyra, pyramid, the nose. Palborus Ghadat, the pituitary gland. Kowon, Anuki. All is, I am. All is existence. We are existence. Now to say, Rahubat, Moisar, Shalil, Wu-Sabat, Pa, Musbat, U. Let's be saying greetings to you all, away of a shook, family of Wu-Sabat, the Sabians. I am Hapwi Re Atum Atap, one of the many student teachers, feminines and masculines of the master teacher, Pa Nabab Yananan, galactical master of heaven and earth, affectionately known as Baba Yanun, an Etherian incarnated into the body of His Excellency Dr. Malachi Z.K. York Okran, 33 degrees over 720 degrees. When we use the word incarnated, what we're saying here is that he is what's referred to as an avatar. In the Arabic, they use the word ila mutajasud, a divine being in human form. If you went to Christianity, they may use the term angelos, angel. Angelos in Greek just means a messenger, or the angel Michael. In the Old Testament, they use the word one of the Elohim, specifically Melchizedek or Malachi Zodok. Malachi means Malak, angel of Zodok, righteousness or justice. And in ancient Tamaray, Egypt, he was known as the Hutri or Tuhuti. In the Sumerian, the equivalent would be Ningis Zida. Many incarnations throughout the thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Today's class is entitled Mental Alchemy, Reverse Engineering Our Minds. So once again, I'll say Rohubat. And before we go into today's class title, I just want to read something from it's a leaflet we give out when we are propagating. And have you seen one of these? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep it on the side for that.
Yeah, I don't have it now.
I'll just read this. Right, Moisa, I just want to hey, how's everybody doing anyway before we start? How's everybody doing? On Zoom, Clubhouse, everybody doing okay? Let's take the silence as a yes. Okay. Right. As I said, this is a leaflet that we give out when we are propagating. And people say to us, what's this about? And we say to them, well, read the line, it's got here, Wu-Sabat, a culture and way of life that restores your mind and soul. Facts you can prove is superior than belief you cannot. Now, what we say to people is that Dion Prudence says, yes, they're okay. Okay, that's great. When it says a culture and a way of life, Wu-Sabat is just that, a culture. And a culture is our means of identification. Our culture embodies everything that pertains to us as a race of people. Mospato, Samians, Nagaranadu, Negroids. Your culture embodies the food we eat, the language we speak, the deities that we acknowledge, our education, our clothes, our dressed up, our dance, music, everything is under the umbrella of culture. So when a person looks at you as a Mospato Sebian, they look at you, they know what you represent. If they don't know what you represent, we then say we give them the breakdown of what we represent. And when we say we are Wu-Sabat, that's how you spread it. Sabian, they say, what's that? The reason why they say that is because it's not in the dictionary. They cannot Google what is a Wu-Sabat or what's a Sabian. They cannot Google that because this is something that was, let's say, created or birthed by one of us for all of us. When I say one of us, I have to say restored by way of one of us, and that one of us is the master teacher, Parnababiananan. He's been restored. If you don't have a culture, the question to ask is, if your culture is your means of identification, if you don't have a culture, then who are you? Now, there's a word called it's a word, acculturation is the term that's used. Acculturation basically means you adopt another culture that is not your own and merge yourself into it as if it is your own. When we do that, we now live in an artificial life. We now have adopted someone else's identity, and that identity is an identity that is not conducive to us as mushkhas, or a people, or as a salal, as a race, because we need our own stuff for us. So when we propagate, and we say a culture is just that, and we say a way of life, well, a way of life and living that restores your mind and soul. Facts you can prove is superior than belief you cannot. Or the master teacher puts it, why believe that which you cannot prove when you can prove that which can be confirmed? Because confirmation, that's it, full stop, confirmation. However, in saying that, when we start, like for example, when a person comes into Wu-Sabat, they're coming in on the premise of belief, based upon what they read or what they heard. But as you continue walking, then belief starts to dissipate, and you now come into the realm of knowing. And there's a biblical quote that says, ye shall know the truth, and that same truth shall make you free, not set you free, or make you free. Free from what? Free from what? From the lies that has imprisoned our minds. So imprison the mind and you imprison the body. Or people, once you get the mind, you get the body. You've got the body. So now that individual or individuals become on automatic pilot. Okay, they become puppets. So this little pamphlet you got here, the very pertinent statement they got here, a culture and way of life that restores your mind and soul, fact you can prove is superior than belief you cannot. Okay. So with that being said, let us begin today's class. As I said before, this class is entitled Mental Alchemy, Reverse Engineering Our Thoughts. And we have to say this, is that we understand that, I should say, we overstand that certain words, terminologies and concepts may be new to some. However, these concepts are mere stepping stones to the threshold for more transcendent concepts that Parnababiananan has to give us, that will take us into the quantum realms and beyond. And when we say quantum realms, we're talking about those states of existence that is beneath or below the atomic realm, the subatomic realm. And quantum physics is, it may sound deep, like quantum physics. What's that? Quantum physics is basically the scientific explanation of spirituality. That's all quantum physics is. Okay. And there's a video called, I remember saying this a few classes back, How to Prove the Existence of the Most High. If somebody's got that on YouTube, How to Prove the Existence of the Most High, by the master teacher. And if you go 37 minutes in, I just found it. I found it because I tried to look for it. I couldn't find it. Anyway, I found it. And in that particular segment, the master must have said it for about 1 minute. He says, acknowledging that you are in the all and the all is it. Sorry, you're acknowledging that you are in the all and all is in you. The next level to divinity is as a quantum existing being. And that's why we have what we call Pa-Ta-Kyud, our affirmation. We say, I am in the divine love of the all expanding, and all love is in me. I'm one with the all expanding, and I'm one with the all expanding, and the all expanding is one with me. I can exist as a part of the all expanding and fail as individuals. I'm just paraphrasing, I tend to say in mispatia. Anyway, that is the epitome of what quantum physics is all about, and our existence in the all expanding, and how we are part of the all, and the all is a part of us. Meaning, if we looked upon the all as an ocean and our physical body as a vessel, as a cup, and we pour the cup into that ocean, in that cup is everything that all is. So all the qualities, we say nine ether. Nine ether is all chemicals, gases, formulas, and elements of natural nature. And that is what we Negroids, Nagara Nadu, are composed of. All existing. All existing. Then you have other races are made of a lesser composition than the Negroids. Okay. That's just an actual fact. Okay. Now, let's begin. So, let me just say this now. Let's begin. Let's begin the class. When we say new mental alchemy, reverse engineering our minds, as taught by the master teacher, what do we mean by that? What comes to mind when we say mental alchemy, reverse engineering our minds? Anybody? And we don't do trick questions here. Anybody? Just want to hear feedback from the listening audience. Mental alchemy, reverse engineering our minds. What does let's start with mental alchemy. What does that mean? Anybody? Don't all rush to the podium.
Well, when I
come to get my so everyone could hear the wisdom. The ones that out here to them. It means hey, mental alchemy.
When I think of mental alchemy, I think of like a mental,
Is it on the mic?
mental trip or
Mental.
mental captivity, or that's what comes to mind for me.
Mental alchemy. Okay. What about reverse engineering our minds?
Sort of undoing, unlearning what's being given to us or taught to us.
That's correct. Yeah.
So reverse engineering. So
You're on the right track.
yeah, re-engineering, remaking, remolding, reconnecting almost.
It's there. What are we remodeling and reconnecting? What are we doing?
Our thoughts,
100%, yeah.
our intentions.
You're on the target. You say we are re-engineering, reversing, remolding our thoughts. Can you elaborate more on the thoughts? When you say, because you say thoughts, you're talking thinking as well. Can you give us a look, add a bit more, bring more to the table? You're on the right track. You're on the right track. You know,
I guess so.
how can we do that though? How can we, what do we need to,
Knowledge,
that's it. Right.
information.
Right, yeah. Now you got off the scales at the moment. You really got off the scale, yeah. You're saying all the right things, you know. You're ticking all the boxes. That's what they say. You're ticking all the boxes, yeah. So we need the information, and I'm glad you said it, not information, but yeah, you're ticking all the right boxes. Yeah,
How can we do that?
yeah.
Coming together.
That's what. Yeah, you know, when we come together, what happens when we come together? Why do you say we come together together?
Together, yeah.
Come together
To
together
share
to share. Okay.
and experiences
Oh,
help
yeah.
us grow
That's what I like. Yeah.
mentally.
But that's okay.
Um,
You know, when we come together mentally, can you elaborate a bit more when we come to,
just
what happens when we come together
more
mentally?
power, more
That's right.
connection,
That's right.
more
Do you know that when you say more connection, do you know in quantum physics they call that quantum entanglement? Do you know that? Yeah, yeah.
quantum entanglement.
Yeah, when we come together, that means that we are all connected. Yeah, it's called quantum entanglement in the scientific field. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, like I said, you're ticking all the right boxes.
Yeah.
I think we should change seats. You know what I mean? Or change position. I'll sit on there. You come up here. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, tick all the right boxes.
Power, I also think of power
Okay, power. We get the power from where?
from that quantum entanglement.
Alchemy. Also
From
about the knowledge. Have you heard that knowledge
power,
is knowledge power, or is it activation of the knowledge that
using the knowledge,
gives us
power.
okay power to do what? You got the power. What do you do with the power? Just let it simmer on the cooker. You got okay, okay. You're ticking all the right boxes, ticking all the right boxes. So with power, then so you got the knowledge. You're now using that knowledge. You gain the power. Does that mean that you begin to transform the power?
So now you're starting to re-engineer your mind, I guess,
That's
then,
100%
because
right.
now you are your
Big one.
actions
Yeah,
and
that's right.
the things that you do will be different
That's
because
right.
now you're working with different information, different power, more power, allowing you to do more.
Do more.
So
Yes, right.
growth,
That's right. You're growing. You're elevating. You're growing. You're transforming.
transforming.
Okay. Okay. You're ticking all the right boxes here. And that, as we build a bit more, that transformation is transforming from a mere mortal into a
Maybe.
into a three letters begins with G, ends with D.
God.
That's it. Don't be scared. You know what I mean? That's right. So that's what happens. So mental alchemy, in your own words, is basically transforming our minds, coming together. When we come together together. The scientific term there is called synergy. Synergy is defined as when two or more forces combined to produce an outcome greater than if done individually. Okay, so that that is the power of when we come together. And we said when we come together and we become like-minded and we start to connect, we said that the in quantum physics, that's called quantum entanglement. We are linking each other regardless of the distance of where we are. And when we say regardless of the distance, we're talking about galactically and universally. Okay. So so when we say Wu-Sabat is our spiritual science and universal knowledge, that science is quantum physics or quantum entanglement, and all the other sciences as well, alchemy being one of those as well. Okay. And what has happened is when we say reverse engineer our minds, it's because of the fact, like you said earlier on, is that we have been placed under a hypnotic spell of sleep, a spell of the conscious mind. We have become unaware. Now it's time for us to wake up. And the time is now. Okay. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. Because there is only now. And the forces of natural nature, let me say 9 etheric forces, are conspiring to our elevation. Okay, and it's these 9 etheric forces that we call, in ancient Tamare, we call them the Pa Ravaru or Pa Netiru. Okay, the overseers, plus higher beings are all working in our favor. Okay, conspiring to our advancement, and the one of them has incarnated in human form to outform us, to give us the outformation, and to create outstructors, so that the outstructors are now reconstructing that which is outside in. Okay, for our elevation. Yeah. Okay, so you tick all the right boxes, sis. Give it a couple of weeks, you be up here and I'll be asking the questions. Okay. And we have another word we call transmutation of mind and mental into physicality, achieving miracle-like results to the onlooker. This is what Pa Nababu or Pa Munbabu, the masters, refer to as a mental alchemy, mental transmutation. Okay. I hope I didn't lose you. Okay. Everybody on Clubhouse and Zoom, did you all get that? And we're not here to lose anybody, lose no one. Right. Let's continue, fam. Okay. So the scrolls that we'll be reading today are the Sacred Wisdom of Tuti. We'll be reading Astral Fact number 18. This is for those of you who've got it. We'll be reading from the Holy, give it excerpts from the Holy Tablets, and the Dimensional Shift, just to name but a few. Okay, so let's continue. Anyone got any questions thus far? Clubhouse, Zoom? Nashat, any questions thus far? No. None so far? Okay, that's great. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So, when we talk about reverse engineer our minds, look, let's read. As I was as I'm reading, I'll get all these thoughts come to me, so I have to write them down quickly before So I've got here. Our thoughts moves into our minds as waves, thought waves, carrying with it outformation and information from the mental reservoir to our minds. So when we say carrying outformation and information from the mental reservoir to our minds, what we're saying is that on the mental plane, that is where all thought forms are held. And we are extracting a portion of that from the mental as my mind. So when they say nothing is new under the sun, it's because everything is held in the mental reservoir. And the more we elevate in terms of tones, frequencies, and vibrations, as our minds begin to expand, we're able to extract more information from the mental reservoir. And there are guardians over that reservoir that help the womb. They know that this person can receive more information because the Master Jesus says that he can give us so much information that it fills up the little brain cells that we are utilizing. So it's something that is done intravenously. Okay. However, what helps to expand that or to make it more exponential is a gland that was removed from us, which is called the barotheric gland. And the barotheric gland used to sit in the hippocampus region of the brain. However, he said that it was removed. However, he said it's now going to be reinserted beneath the chin, an area called the submental. Submental means that which is below the mental or that which reacts with the mental. Okay, and that gland is an endocrine gland, and what it does is, I'm not going into technical, but simply put, it gives us random access to the divine. Okay, which is the master said that at first it will be controlled, well, basically it's controlled by the higher beings, and this allows us to absorb a vast array of information. It allows us to travel interdimensionally. It allows us to do many, many, many things. Okay, the barotheric gland, and it lines up with the endocrine glands. Have you heard of the endocrine glands? People might know that chakras. The root chakra. Da, 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 da. Well, these are glands. These are endocrine glands, and what they do, they secrete hormones, and hormones are like chemical messengers. By way of, they are ductless glands, meaning that they secrete very small portions of hormones direct into the bloodstream based upon where they are located within the body, and that is what helps us to elevate. Once we know, let me say it like this: that's their physical properties, but the endocrine glands also have what we call an esoteric properties or esoteric function, which is to transform us, or we could utilize these energies once if you have the know-how and dematerialize and transform into a craft. These are like the higher sciences. Well, I don't have that knowledge, but want someone who does. Okay. So it's got here, our thoughts moves into our minds as waves, thought waves, carrying with it information and information from the mental reservoir to our minds, to our neurons by way of synapses. Do you know what synapses? Oh, we've got brain cells, neurons. And the way one brain cell communicates to another brain cell by way of synapses. That's the information carrier. But the synapses are triggered by what we call Padamak Nashat, brain natural ether energy. Natural ether energy is what helps to create the spark from one synapse to another, and that is what carries the information. Okay, and it's by way of higher thinking. I just want to read actual fact number 18, and this is called tones, frequencies, and vibration. This one here is a bit grubby. I'm reading from page 14. Those of you who've got the scroll, turn to page 14. And I'm going to start from verse 81. A very powerful scroll. It's called Tones, Sound, DNA Molecules, Vibrational Frequencies. Actual fact number 18. Reading from page 14, verse 81. Give you all a few seconds to get it off the bookshelf. Everyone wrote it down? Everyone got it off the bookshelf? Cool. Right, let's read it. It reads. I'll start from page 14. I'll start from let's read from verse 80. Okay, and it reads, the pyramids, part of Babylon is talking about the pyramids. Okay, prior to that, I'll read from here. The pyramids had an effect of contact with other worlds. The pyramids is a massive antennae, let's put it that way. Okay. The pyramids had an effect of contact with other worlds. 81. Just by sitting quietly inside a pyramid as a crystal, creating a balancing effect, and the electromagnetic field created by the pyramid shape. Linked to the gold capstone at the right time, and the base angle of the Great Pyramid is degrees, a triangular structure of a quartz crystal. We are always receiving sounds from outer space. Beyond time, from beings that exist out of the body, locked by time. Our body is, we explained last class, how our body is locked in time. Remember, we have different time. We have different time frames right now. We have what we call real time, and we have fake time. Real time is the time before inception, before the sperm made contact with egg. That is real time. And when contact is made, then it becomes our own zero time reference. And then after that, we now begin to work in fake time. This time frame that we are under, or that we move in, is fake time, being that how they move the clock forwards and back, the calendar is off, everything is off for this time frame. And even now, you hear that people say, even you yourself may say, time is speeding up. I think it seems as though time is moving fast. Well, time is moving fast. It's an actuality. Okay. Time isn't actually, time is moving fast. So if we didn't, we have to align ourselves with this fate time. If we didn't do that, then we go crazy. At the same time, we can also move into other time frames. You want to say something, Esmelta?
It was a question I wrote from a different scroll, but how can we start to align ourselves with the correct time?
Yeah. The way to do that is to think in terms of doing things now, not tomorrow, but now. That's how you have to do it. You have to think in terms of doing things now. I'll put it off tomorrow. So always think in terms of now. That's the best way that I can explain it. See, because tomorrow never comes. When tomorrow comes, it now becomes now. But when we look at time, though, in quantum physics, they call it time reversal symmetry. Time reversal symmetry basically means that the future and the past can be altered based upon our consciousness. Okay, So time is not linear. I think we brought this down last time. Time is not linear, doesn't move in one direction. Time is, was, and shall always be. It's all around us. Okay. And time reversal symmetry actually disintegrates what was previously taught, or was taught that time moves in a direction. Time reversal symmetry breaks and just diminishes that concept. Okay. So so going back to I had a question on Clubhouse. I'm pretty close to Clubhouse. Somebody posed a question there. Autumn Kemet. We are dismantling the thoughts of 6,000 years of religion in order to re-register our natural abilities to become true beings through Wu-Sabat. That's right. We can go into that later on. We have 9 chakras. We have 9 chakras. So do we produce more pheromones? Pheromones, you know, have you heard that term, pheromones? You know, pheromones is like, you know, we give off a scent. Uh, yes or no? Once we have, if those all 9, let me word it like this. If all those, because we have 7 chakras, and we have 2, 8, and 9 chakras are not part of the 7 systems, endocrine systems. However, they are outside of the body and they influence the rest of the chakras. These are like non-physical energy centers. Okay. Do they produce more pheromones? Well, what was said is this, is that the deities, and even in the Hindus acknowledge this as well, that the deities, when they incarnate, they carry a scent. The master carries a scent as well. And he made an oil called Malachi that was as close to his body's scent. And the Hindus also acknowledge that, and also the Muslims, because the Muslims say that I think it was Muhammad, he had musk. Did he say musk? I think Muhammad, he had the scent of musk. Oh, was it the Mahdi? Anyway, Muhammad has a scent. That scent that is given off is called pheromones. Now, here it is. It's good how the brother Atum Ray mentioned that, because in the perfume industry, they use pheromones as well. That's why, especially a female, they will put a perfume on, and you've walked 15 minutes away, and another brother is walking by, and he can still smell the scent because of the pheromones, and they make them so that it can attract the opposite sex. Animals give off pheromones as well. So now it's a means of attraction. So in that respect, yes, we do produce pheromones naturally anyway. And as Nagarnado Tasu Ak Mokwanu, 9 etheric beings. So it just came out like that. Miss Batia. As 9 etheric beings, melanites, if our melanin is clean, we give off a sweet scent anyway. And that scent that we give off, those natural scents, is called pheromones. Okay, you know, the other races who give off, I don't know what they give off, mate. More like a skunk. But yeah, animals give off pheromones, human beings give off pheromones, and other animals can sense another animal miles away, yeah, you know, based off what is given off. And also, I have to mention this, the pheromones is also predicated upon the food we eat also. So a person may be a heavy meat eater, and the meat is lodged inside the stomach and is given off a scent. Another word for pheromones is body odor. Okay, and body odor can be pleasant or unpleasant. Okay, that's pheromones. Okay, so not Curtis, the brother Atum Ray, can I hope that answers your question? Oh, no, Curtis Darth said that, didn't he? Oh, Curtis Darth said that. Another question, Samal. When this sun implodes on itself, do we form a new one with our solar plex? We won't be around till sun implodes. That's the end of that. We don't form a new solar plex. No, we won't form a new solar plex, Samal. No, sorry for that. Now, what we should do is we should align ourselves because we have a solar plex and we have this three suns. The sun outside the planet, the sun in the center of the planet, and the sun inside of us, that black sun. And we should align all those three suns together. Wu-Sabat, a lot of the breathing exercises will help stimulate or enhance our solar plex region. This region is not diving off the topic, but the brother asked the question, so we're going to answer it. This solar plex region is also a chakra, an energy center, solar plex region. And there are fibers here very similar to that of the brain. That means then that within this region here is another brain, a second brain. And this brain here, you notice how it's just beneath the heart seat. I explained this last time, we did a class on this. It's just beneath the heart seat. And this heart seat emanates an electromagnetic field more powerful than that of the brain. And there is a nerve, a cranial nerve that runs from the brain to this region here, and it's called the vagus nerve. We have 12 cranial nerves, and the 10th cranial nerve is called the vagus nerve, the longest of all nerves in the body. The 10th cranial nerve, 10 of the 12. Okay, called the vagus nerve. VAGUS, the vagus nerve. Okay, so this region here, the solar plex region, when we are chanting, when we are breathing, when we are doing our visualization, we should place our concentration from this region here, the solar plex region, more powerful. You know, people say, I've got butterflies and I've got a gut feeling. Yeah, because of this region here. Okay, the solar plex region. If you're perplexed about anything, focus your energy here. When we say energy, we talk about the power. The word for power is sakham. That's what we use, sakham. Or like in the Oriental, they call it chi. The Hindus call it prana. Okay, so we have a breathing system, which we call smay, breathing, SMAI, smay. Now, fork, smay breathing. And smay breathing basically means that it's a method, it's a three-part method of breathing, a breathing process. The first part is as you breathe in, you push the diaphragm out. And if that is all you could do, that's a very powerful breathing to do, just to push the diaphragm out. Push the diaphragm out as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, you relax it. There's more to it than that, but that's the first step. And you're breathing through the nose, you breathe out through the mouth. The reason why you're breathing through the nose is because by breathing in through the nose, it warms the air. Breathing through the nose, you push the stomach out. And as you exhale through the mouth, you allow the stomach just to relax again. Or really, it's the diaphragm, really. Okay. Very, very powerful center. Nobody really talks about this center. And that's why the master teacher has given us the breath scroll. And it is by way of our breathing that we excite certain etheric energies to the brain as well. Okay, so there's a science behind that. We've got the scroll there. Seek out the scroll, natural ether energy. Behind that, and then goes deep into it. This one here, natural ether energy, goes deep into what happens when we breathe, and we can talk about that later on. Let's go here. Curtis Starr, thank you, Zamal. The reason I asked the question is because women always say I smell good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there's something to boast about. It says the heart seat pulls in more. So when you emanate a shock, you'll be surrounded with a shock. Don't like the word manifest, but that's what it is. The heart seat pulls in more. So when you emanate a shock, you'll be surrounded with a shock. That's right. Yeah. A shock is, have you heard of the word a shock?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you, in darkness, a shock?
Love.
That's it. What type of love?
Pure.
Pure love. That's right. Yeah. Or divine love. Yeah.
Okay.
Unconditional love. Yeah. Okay. That's right. Okay. Any questions on Zoom? Nothing on Zoom? Everyone just taking in the information? Okay. Oh, let's continue reading. So we're talking about our thoughts, and we're reading from Ultra Facts number 18, Tones Frequencies, page 14, verse 81. We are always receiving sounds from outer space. 82. Beyond time, from beings that exist out the body locked by time. 83. Those of your own genes are speaking to you from the other realms. You just have to learn, be taught how to tune in on their frequency. How do we learn to tune in on their frequency? Any ideas? The operative word is tune. When you say tune, what comes to mind? Yeah, tune.
Through meditation,
Correct. Anything else? Meditation, yes, right.
chanting,
Chant, yeah, that's it. I'm really glad you said chanting. Who's speaking?
linki,
Was that
linki,
Blinky?
nkuna, yes.
Okay, well done. So, can you talk more about chanting first, please, Samantha?
Yes, so through chanting on the recommended times, so 9393 if you can at 3 a.m. and also chanting on the correct keys, FAC.
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
You hit the target already. I'll just give you the heads up on that. You hit the target already. So yeah, you're 100% right. When we chanted, it's good that you said 9393. Good that you said the other three as well. Because that three is so 9 a.m., 3 p.m., 9 p.m., and 3 a.m. Okay, very good you said the 3 a.m. as well. Now, if we all chanted at those times, regardless of where you are on the planet, we would align. Remember, we went back to that word synergy. There's another word that they use in quantum physics, which is synchronicity. Heard that term? Yeah, synchronicity or alignment. We begin to align with ourselves, with each other. But as you read here, not only are we aligning with each other, we're also aligning with our more subtle relatives who have crossed over, the higher ones, more slothful, the ancestors. Okay? Again, that term is called entanglement, quantum entanglement. We're using these terminologies so you can familiarize yourself with them. Okay? Synchronicity, we said that already. Synchronicity is another word for alignment. And as Zamalta said, the tones FAC, Samantha, can you please explain to us FAC for us, please?
Yes. So I know the one connects with the cosmos,
Which is
the sea.
correct. Okay, now that leaves F and A. Okay, you're doing very well. You're ticking the right boxes. So I'll just give you the heads up on that. Give you the confidence. You tick the right box. C is the cosmos. Okay, F and A.
Yeah, so you connect with the cosmos, and then with the body,
which is
I think it's the F.
Try again.
It's the A.
That's right, yeah. And the last one is?
So the cosmos, the body, and I want to say the earth.
Say it then. Just say it.
Yes, the earth.
But that's it, yeah.
So, yeah, FS is so F is the earth, and then A is the body, and C is the cosmos. Yes.
That's it. You're ticking all the right boxes. That's what I like to hear, you know what I mean? The master's doing his job, and all we hear is to give you like the jump start, give you the confidence, let you say, yeah, FAC, that's right. So I'll read that again. It's got here, thanks Samantha for that. So it's got here, we are always receiving sounds from outer space, which is the sea, the cosmos, from beings that exist out of the body. Look at that is from beyond time, from beings that exist out of the body, locked by time. Our body's locked by time. These beings are not locked by our time frame, our ancestors. Those 83, those of your own genes are speaking to you from other realms. Okay, meaning they are of your own morphogenetic field. Okay, Zamal Usia talked about that last week. You just have to be taught how to tune in on their own frequencies. As Zamal says, the tones is F, A, C. The first one is F is the earth, A is the human body or the physical body, and C is the cosmos. Now, these tones, F, A, C, is very specific. It's specific because it pertains to the notes by which our as Nagara Negro's body vibrate on. Each race, their body vibrates on a particular frequency. Ours vibrate on a particular frequency or particular note also. And that is FAC. The first one we have to focus on is the A note. And you've got A major, A minor, and A flat. Okay, so we need to focus on that, and that will align our body. Once we align our body, we get aligned with the earth and align with the cosmos, the higher beings. Okay, so that's the focus of chanting. And I'd just like to say this: if there's one chant that I would recommend, someone said to me, if there's one chant that you would recommend to do, what would that be? I would say the Om chant. The Om chant, and that Om chant is all encompassing chant. You heard the Om. Now, that chant now, the way to do that chant, remember we talked about the breathing, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and we said that we push your stomach in. With the Om chant, it's like that. You breathe in, as you're breathing in, you push your stomach out, then you exhale. Oh. The oh. And the ah, u, ah, u, or they'll say A, U, M. So it'd be ah, u, So you breathe in, the nose, you push the stomach out, you go, oh. Oh. Now, This is an agreeable exercise for you to do. And this exercise I'm going to give you would take things to the whole new level. Do that chant, I said this some time ago. Run a bath. Put your ears, submerge your ears under the water, just your ears. Submerge your ears under the water and do the chant. Om. And when you do it underwater, you will hear the correct tone that you should be doing, the correct frequency and the correct vibration. You'll feel that when your ears is under the water. When you bring your ears up, you do it again, it sounds different. But what you do is keep on practicing that, do it underwater. There comes a point whereby you lift your head, you take your ears away from the water up to the surface, and you find that it's in synchronicity or in alignment with those tones. Okay. Now, that's the one chant I would recommend everybody to do. If someone said to me, what one chant would be that one there, the Om. Okay, and all your other chants that you do apply the same methodology. Put your ears under the water and do your chanting. Your life will be the same after that. Okay, now talking about water, because water, it is said of the 4 elements, earth, wind, fire, and water, water is the most receptive. Or let's go even further. Water is a transceiver, meaning it receives and it transmits information. Because water is that conduit between the physical realm and the non-physical realm. Okay. So water, yeah, do that, fam. Practice that. Run the bath, just do om. Run the bath, submerge your ears under the water, then do the chant. Next level. And jewels will be given here, and I'll send a bucket around. So you put. I don't send a bucket around. I just send a card reader. That's how we do it now. We send a card reader. cashatme.com. Let's put cashatme.com, and I need a new jet plane. Okay, so let me continue reading this. For those who missed it, this is from yeah, artifact number 18. Yeah, so it's got here. Those of your own genes are speaking to you from the other realms. You just have to learn, be taught how to tune in on their frequency, FAC. 84. Once you do that, you can hear them and feel them and even touch them. That's next level. Okay. Or they all visit them and they visit you. That's next level. You know what I mean? That means that you now begin to you better travel interdimensionally. That's what Baba is saying here. Okay. Before let's quickly go to Clubhouse to see if there's any let's go here. Bottom ray commit, fasting, chanting, meditation, and hydration. These are actions or practices that we can do to invoke the presence of the ancestors. Fasting, chanting, and meditation. That's right. Fasting, that's right. Yeah. Fasting is just abstaining from food. Fasting is a very, very good practice. And because he's mentioned fasting, I'm going to just build on that. When we say fasting, you know that there's a time when we should eat. There's a time we should allow food to rest, and there's time we should allow the food to eliminate. They call it appropriation, assimilation, and elimination. So appropriation means the time we take in food, and that's between 12 noon and 8 p.m. The time we allow for the food to assimilate is from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And that's the elimination time. Sorry, to assimilation. The elimination is from 4 a.m. until 12 noon again. So appropriation, taking food, assimilation, allow food to digest, and elimination, that period of time when the food should be taken rid of. Okay, now if you just did that alone, that is a discipline in itself. If you want to have something to eat, it should be something that's like before them. I mean, let's say in the morning, what's something to eat in the morning before 12 noon? It'll be like water-based foods, which is more okay. Water-based foods. I just drink water. Okay. Okay. So that's the fasting. So when he says because he mentioned fasting, when you're fasting, you should really go into fasting gradually. And when you're coming out of the fast, you should come out of it gradually. You know, you heard stories of people who go on. I read about water. You know, people they're on the water diet. They're drinking water for X amount of days. And I know some guys at work said they've done that. One brother said, "Yeah, let's do it for a week." And he goes, "I'll do it for 3 days." But in them 3 days, right, you can smell food. You're just outside the planet. You know, you can smell. You know, so I hear people on YouTube who do Google water fasting, and you hear people who they did the fast for about 30 days, and after that they went to McDonald's for to make up for the defeats the objective of the whole thing. You know what I mean? And I say it's shocking to the body. But anyway, so fasting, yeah, it's recommended. Chanting, meditation, and hydration. Hydration means drink a lot of water, 100%. Larry McConnell, where do I learn the correct way to chant? Okay. Uh, yeah, in the right place to learn the correct way to chant. Yeah, what the master's done is he gave us, we did a class on that. He he taught us, he taught us how to chant. And sorry, let me say it now. You know, we have the vowels, they say the 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, or really it's only 3. The A, E, and the O. So that's English, but we say the R, the E, and the U. That's how we say it. R, E, U. Or in English, they say A, E, O. R, E, U. And what you do is you would chant, just like you did the Om, you breathe in, and you chant, E. That's how you chant. E, U. And look at the mouth. E, U. And you know we did the Om. You could hear it, the E, U in the Om. E, U. Om. That's the correct way to chant. And when you do all your chants, it should be to that R, E, U or to R, U. Okay. All your chants should be to that. The master broke it down in a few scrolls. He broke it down in the scroll called the beginning scroll. He broke it, especially the beginning scroll. You get the beginning scroll, the old scroll, the beginning scroll, and also in the black book, Sacred Records Atumbre. It didn't go into it deep, but it goes into it. You know what I mean? But the tone of Om. Okay. But that is it. R E O. That's how in English they say A E O. We say R E O. Okay. So R E O. That's right. That's correct. Yeah. Larell. So no food after 8 p.m. That's it. You know, I mean, everybody, but that in itself, that cycle is a discipline in itself. That's right. Alkaline water. Yeah, alkaline water, yes. But the water that we should be drinking should be structured water. I never heard that. Structured water. The water from the fruits. Yeah, this got off the topic, isn't it? The class, isn't it? But anyway, they asked the question, so we have to answer it. Okay. The fruits the water that's in water-based fruits is structured water. And one of the guys at work this was this week, talked to me about having okra water. I don't know if you heard about that, okra water. Have you heard about okra water, fam? Okay. Okay, okra water. And there's a guy called Bobby Price online. He put okra water, Bobby Price. The guy about that, he's a nutritionist. Anyway, so the man at work said to me, "Yeah, try this okra water." I go, "Oh, isn't it?" So I went to the shops, bought some okra, went home, chopped the two ends off, chopped the okra water, put it in a flask, started to drink the thing. Blow my mind. Blow my mind. And because the okra, when you do that, the consistency is a bit like if you take sea moss, it's got that kind of jelly-like consistency. The okra water, yeah. And put some lime with it as well. The lime blends in very well to the okra water. Plus, you just need one small lime. Squeeze some lime juice that, guzzle that down, and guzzle that down, and that just rehydrates the body. Okay. He sent a message. Who was that? Tahuti wants to say something.
So I was asking, what were you saying? You said okra or okra? What letter it from you?
Oh, yeah, that's why it could be my English accent. Okra, yeah, Okra.
Tawu,
Yeah.
okra. Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I
cool.
never heard of okra.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's how we speak in this neck of the woods. Yeah,
Is
cool.
it a fruit or vegetable?
Actually, the other okra, OKRA. It's a fruit, you know. Actually, it happens. Good thing you said that because there's a guy called Bobby Price on YouTube. I was listening today, and he goes, "Yeah, it's a fruit because it has seeds in." You see, and you could, yeah, that's right, Laurel's fruit, yeah, because it's got seeds in it. You could just eat that, and you drink the water. It's something else. Okra. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So the okra water now, the okra, you put it with the water because the okra is kind of jelly looking in it. That jelly consistency. What it does is it restructures the water. It makes it structured water. So structured water basically means that it's able to hydrate the cells even more, especially the mitochondria, because the mitochondria in the cell is what gives the cell its vibrancy. It energizes the cell. So the mere fact that the water becomes structured and you're drinking that, hey, the whole body becomes hydrated. Okay, and like I said, go ahead, Zamal.
The okra water, that is fruit from where?
What country? Yeah, that's we're all clear. Yeah.
But it's a fruit that grows naturally.
That's
where?
right. Yeah. I don't know, mate. Right. I think the guy did. I can't remember. I can't remember. I think it was Africa. I think it was in the brother. I think the brother did mention the name on the thing on the YouTube.
Yes, it's found in Africa. We have a lot in here in
Okay.
Africa of it,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, fantastic.
and it grows like grass.
So, yeah, you could get it from yeah, you know where you get your food from your provision. Not about the supermarket, but the market from the yeah. Check that out, okra water.
I will. Like an international market, not like a regular supermarket.
Yeah, the international market. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, again?
Y'all have Whole Foods in the UK?
Yeah, we have Whole Foods. Yeah, you know, you could dip.
So
Yeah.
it would be in Whole Foods probably.
What about Whole Foods, mate? You know the we would tend to get them from in the UK. It'd be like the Indian man shop. Well, I know African man shop them. Yeah, if you go there, but Whole Foods, I don't know about Whole Foods. They may have it there. But try in the market, the market that you they get in if you go to Marrakesh. The markets like that. I don't know what you got in America. No, I've never actually seen a street market. Like a street market, I've never seen a street market in the US. Okay. Okay.
A street market, like a farmer's market, is that what you're saying? Like
Yes.
farmer's market?
Yeah. It's like a farmer's market that sell, you get your hard food, your provision, yam and banana. Eat yam and banana.
I don't understand what you said. I heard banana, but I don't know what the first thing you said.
Yam. YAM. You don't get that? Oh, you don't.
Yam?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
A yam like a sweet potato.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. When yeah, that's it. It's easy to get hold of, It's not like something that's exotic. Yeah, it's easy to get hold of.
Oh, too.
Yeah,
I'll look for it without a doubt.
yeah, you do that as well. It'd be great. And so it's got here Pata Amun Dre.
I hope about Hapwi, you've got
Okay.
Kobe with his hand up. He's been
Oh,
there for a while.
put him through, please, Emil. Kobe,
Robot Zamal.
Robert.
Yeah, so I think also just to say to help out the guy who's looking for the okra, I think any African shop should definitely sell it. And sometimes it goes by ladyfinger.
Okay.
Finger. So if he comes across like if he's looking for it, I think it's ladyfinger.
Okay.
Partner to Google it. But as to my question, yeah, ladyfingers. Okay. So you were talking before about the chants and us chanting on the A tone.
That's right.
I just wanted to know if there's any chance, whether it's any of the chants that the master teacher has given us, or anything that we could potentially do to align ourselves with the F and the C tone.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You could do all the chants by the A, F, and C. If there's there is an app called Datona. That's called Datona. There's an app there which will tell you when you're chanting, just chant into the words, put it in your phone, just chant towards it, and it will tell you whether you're on F, A, or C. Or it'll tell you different notes from C to C, tell you if it's A flat, A sharp, G sharp, blah, blah, blah. It's called Da toner, DA, Da toner. So that will tell you whether or not it tell you what note you're actually chanting on. So now let's say you're doing Om. You could do Om, but you'd have to adjust the tone of your voice so you could get the right note. You see? You go Om, you might have to Om. Oh, so it depends on your voice. You've got to use your own voice box. Use that that app, and it will tell you, oh, you're on A, and then you would hold it on A. Oh, yeah. So that will help you in point you in the right direction. Oh, I'm on this note. Okay.
Towel tap. I've got one further question. So, in chanting in line with these tones, with the F and the A and the C, are you able to break down what that potentially does for us? For example, chanting on the F tone and being in line with the planet, what is the end result? What are we getting from that? Or chanting on the C tone or chanting on the A tone?
Yeah. Communication. You're getting communication with the higher beings and your ancestors and the earth. You see. Now, that's basically it. You're now realigning yourself to natural nature. That's what you're basically doing. Another word that you said earlier on is synchronizing your whole body to natural nature. You're synchronizing your body on the A to your human body. You're synchronizing yourself to the cosmos and synchronizing yourself to the earth. That synchronization or alignment is mental alignment first. Okay. Once you align yourself mentally, everything else will fall into play. Okay. The master says it's he said that the A note is the first one you need to align yourself with, A. And when we say synchronization or alignment, what we mean is that things will start to happen for you and to you. It's like, I'm trying to find the right words to put it. I always use this example. It's that you're driving down the road. Say you want to park somewhere, and you send a thought out. I want to park a space within this vicinity. You'll get it. Start with that's just one example. Start with one, say sort of something that may seem insignificant, then you'll see the result. But success breeds success. And there comes a point whereby you just think it and you know it's going to materialize at the power of your thought waves. That is how powerful our thoughts are. So you just got to synchronize us. Yeah, that's it, basically. That's what you call it. That's the scientific term is synchronicity or alignment. Okay? And that's what will happen. Things will come into, person, places, and things will seemingly drop at your feet, for lack of a better word. We just got to recognize them when they happen, because it's subtle, but very powerful. Guys,
sorry, I just wanted to add to that as well. I've studied music.
Okay.
So the chanting are tones, which is also frequency and vibration.
Yeah.
So in order to be in tune with nature, you have to know nature's tune tone. So those tones, A, F, and C, which harmonize with one another, that puts you in line with nature, as you said. Once you're in sync with nature, then communications from higher beings can come through. But if you're out of sync, that's when you would experience life in a way where nothing goes your way.
So what you're saying is harmony.
It's harmony, yeah.
Also, you got harmony and you got unison. Can you quickly? That's the build.
I can even go deeper than that. So as an example,
start in the shallow end, then we move to the deep end, didn't it?
So to put it into context, the tones and sounds we listen to through music have been designed to desynchronize yourself. They've changed it's called the hertz. They changed the hertz of music to a frequency that disrupts the body.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, those chants, not only does it repair the body when you take time to chant,
that's right.
It also, as you said, can put you in tune with natural frequencies and natural sounds, and therefore you can get inspirations as well.
That's right. So I'm glad you said inspiration, but go ahead.
Yeah. So that's basically, from what I've studied, the importance of chanting in the right tone. It's the same thing when you produce music. It's important to produce music in the right hertz and frequency as well.
That's right.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that. It really does benefit when you have that kind of understanding of that's exactly how it benefits.
That's right. That's right. That's about. Thank you very much. So there you have it, Moisar family. Somebody who's you produce music, you said?
I produce music, I can play instruments, I can play guitar, I can play the piano, I study.
There you go, fam. That's it. So if you want a record deal, come to you. So, fam, out there, you want a record deal, come to the brother, come to the chat. What's your name, Samuel?
Elijah.
Come to Elijah if you want that record deal, and he'll kind of hook you up with the right tones, frequencies, and vibration. Right. Any more questions before we continue? Yeah, I'll have a look on the clock and see what's there. Okay. I will say all glory to Anu. Is that bad? Laurel McConnell says, I will say all glory to Anu. Is that bad? Well, let's just say this is that El Elyon, El Kolom, El Ilo, the Most High. Right. During that time, during those schools, when we was under the school of the Sumerian schools of Sumeria, Pandababinane introduced us to Anu, but now he's now given us what he really came to give, and we acknowledge. If you say the Most High, it will be Reye or Re, or some people say Ra. That be the Most High to us. However, we have or the master teacher has introduced us to 99 deities, we say in our Ranum chants. And each deity, its name, it goes back to tones, frequencies, and vibration. So when we call upon the names of our Munlauru or Netiru, those are of the overseers, the mere fact that we were chanting and we're calling on their names, it is creating a vibration within the atmosphere, and it is altering the things on a not only on a molecular level but also on a quantum level. Okay, not just by the tones but by our thoughts as well. We are also altering things on a quantum level. And you heard that phrase, as above, so below. So quantum is that subatomic level. And as it's altering things on a subatomic level, it's altering things or on a micro level. There's also alteration on a macro level. Hear this now. The mere fact that we are speaking English what I want to say is this. If we speak in Mispatia, there'll be a whole different resonance. We speak in English though, and the mere fact that even though we speak in English and we are talking Wu-Sabat, it is altering things on a quantum level and also within the atmosphere as well. And because of that, it's altering our states of perception. I use the word perception with all intents and purposes because we have our 5 senses, which are speak in the mic, so because they can't, it's too soft about. Go ahead. Our 5 senses are
Sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell.
correct, 5 senses. But Master said they all boil down to one sense, which is that one sense. You said it because of T. Touch. And that goes down to one overall sense, which is called gives a P. I said it. P-E-R.
Perception.
Correct. Yeah. That's it. So the mere fact that we are speaking, we are disseminating, we are talking Wu-Sabat, our perception, how we perceive things is being enhanced. Okay. So there's lots of things are happening just with Wu-Sabat, and that's just in the English. Imagine what will happen if we're speaking Mispatia. Because you know the higher beings, they don't speak English when they're amongst each other. Let's speak. Let's say Mispatia. How do you know they speak Mispatia? Because Mispatia translates as language of those from the stars. Okay. Laurel. Okay, so Atum Ray Kemet Anu is not what you is not what they call God. So Anu is the father of those they call God in the Bible. Yeah, right. Anu is in Sumeria, they refer to Anu as the heavenly one. That ties into a group of beings called the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki translates as those beings who came to Earth from Anu in groups of 50. Now, these Anunnaki are in the Bible are referred to as Elohim, Theos, the Allahumma in the Quran. These are not our deities, because there are in that land what we call the red zone, like from the Tigris Euphrates going over into Sumeria or Iraq, Iran, Syria. That's the deities that presided over those areas. Over here in Africa, going to the Americas, our deities were called Natiru or Nadaru. They are our deities. And we acknowledge, if you want to say the most high, it will be Re or Pata or Shu, Tefno, them. Those high beings are the ones who we give our energies to. They are our family, Moisar, Mogdadu, family deities. Now, a person can chant or acknowledge the Anunnaki. However, we want to acknowledge those beings after whose image and likeness that we were created of, who are of our own ancestral and genetic lineage. Okay. So, and remember, we need to write the Bible, like I said before, the Bible it's not our records. It's not our stuff. Our stuff predates the Bible by millions of years, or let's say thousands and thousands of years. And those people who wrote the Bible, say the King James Version, or all those other Bibles, they came into Tamare, Egypt, and learned under those venerable black masters, especially Tuti, or we say the sacred wisdom of Tuti. And what the Greeks done, they took what they learned, the 3 degrees, placed them under person, places, and locked them in the person, place, and things, took Tuti and transformed him into their deity called Hermes Trismegistus, and created their own sacred wisdom, which they call the Kabbalion or the Hermetic principles, which is really a dilution of what the master has written here. He wrote this book to set the record straight, an incarnation on behalf of the author, Tuti. Okay? Tuti is one of the 3 beings that incarnates into the master. Okay, so all those guys, somebody wrote something in the OSM Telegram group, if you're in there, somebody wrote a thing, and I kind of responded, and I said that that's it, you mentioned about Napoleon Hill, a guy called Napoleon Hill, and I said that in there that all those people that back in the early 1900s, etc., they all studied the Kemetic principles, what they call the Kemetic principles, or the sacred wisdom. You know what I mean? We call it the sacred wisdom. They all studied the teachings of Tuti and wrote books like Think and Grow Rich, etc., etc., etc. And you read them, you can say, hang on, this is coming from such and such. It's good to read. It's good to read what they have to say. There's one book I do recommend reading. It's called The Master Key System by a guy called Charles Hannell. It's a really, really good book. I haven't got it with me today, but it's a very, very good book. the master key system. You can get it, you could download the PDF version, and that's a very, very good book. But you read it, you know that the guy studied the Egyptian mystery system. They all done it. They all done it. Madame Blavatsky, you heard of that? Madame Blavatsky, Hitler, them people like that of those secret societies. They all studied. But what they done is the information that they got, they reversed it and gave it to us in that form, and used the principles to keep us under oppression, depressed, and repressed. So now Wu-Sabat, Panda Babinanan, and Wu-Sabat is here to reverse engineer our minds. And that reverse engineering process is called mental alchemy. It's the subject title of the class, but you guys are throwing me off the path. No, that's joking, right? So, okay,
Zamal,
go ahead.
yeah, Zamal, who was the author of the book you mentioned?
Oh yeah,
The
Charles.
Alchemy?
Yeah, it's called Charles F. Hannell. The title is called The Master Key System.
Okay, Charles.
F. Hannell. H-A, I think it's double N-E-double-L.
Okay.
The Master Key System.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Samal. What you can do though, you can get it on PDF on type in the Master Key System, will come up, and it was a bit tickish. No, sorry, not on PDF. What am I saying? Audio. Go on YouTube. Yeah, go on YouTube. Sorry, Samal. Yeah, go on YouTube. Type in the Master Key System on YouTube. It will come up and you can listen to it. And there's about 15 parts to it. Yeah, so you can listen to it while you're driving, while you're sleeping, you're reading, yeah, on YouTube. That's it. Yeah, because I recommend. I know some people said they listen to me. It's a very, very good book as well. Very, very good. Good reading and good listening. Okay. Okay. I want to go. How do I chant the names? Okay, so Larell says, how do I chant the names? But we have a, I don't know, if you if you're on the OSM Telegram group, we have the chants there. You could chant all the names in our chant, prayer system. Got it there. I want to learn Miss Batia. Again, we have website, we have a forum, YouTube, not YouTube, what's it called? A Telegram forum for the Miss Batia. I need their names, so I could give them all the glory. That will come as a amalgam, you give them all the glory. I've been listening to Napoleon Hill and Neville Goddard. That's well, yeah. Yeah, they're all Neville Goddard, Napoleon Hill, all of them. They're all studied the Egyptian mystery system. That is the source. And nothing wrong in reading their books, because there's always wisdom to learn. You know, I also read the Sacred Wisdom of Tuti. Okay. Mental Alchemy. The Master Key System. I listened to their audiobooks. Okay, right, yeah. Okay, yeah, Mental Alchemy. That's the title of the class. Okay. So there's a question here. What is meant by mental alchemy? Reverse engineering our minds. So any more questions before you continue? Or does it come off? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so mental alchemy. What is meant by mental alchemy? To simply put, our natural thinking processes and awareness has been compromised for the past 6,000 years, more so for the last 400 to 500 years. What this means is that we as a race have been placed under a spell of amnesia of the conscious mind, and because of that, have been walking and working in a zombie state of awareness. Get the mind and the body will automatically follow, meaning give people what they think they need as opposed to what they really need. Parnababiananan and Wu-Sabat is here to reverse engineer that mindset. And this reverse engineering is what the ancients refer to as mental alchemy, the process of transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration. There's subtle difference between them. The process of transformation, hear this now, is from Homo sapien to Homo spiritus, spiritual beings in physical form. Okay, like Partner Babyanandan is what is referred to as a Homo spiritus. Okay, or we say avatar. But what the master basically do is objective here is to raise us up like himself. So we walk alongside him, not behind or not in front. Feminines and masculines. Okay. Mental.
Zamal,
Go ahead.
Zamal, we have David sharing the screen. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not. Okay, just removed it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So mental transmutation is the art of changing and transforming mental states, forms, and conditions into others. And transfiguration is the art of changing form from one state to another. I'll quickly touch on transfiguration, then we go into transmutation. Transfiguration is the art of changing from one state to another. No. Let me go back. Some reading for that, some serious that one is there. It's not mental transmutation instead, then you go to transfiguration. That's deep, that one is something else, next level that is. But we can get there. Let's go to page 86 of the Sacred Wisdom of Tuti. I know that we said earlier on that certain terminology, certain words, certain concepts may be unfamiliar with you all for some, but this is what we need to take us to the next level. To the next level, we need to open up our minds because the master is here to give us more. We use the term transcendent concepts beyond the norm, beyond what we've been taught. You see, the next level, the next level. Okay, so we need the knowledge. We need the knowledge. We need the knowledge, the know-how that will give us the ability and capability or slash the power to transform ourselves from mere mortals into deities. The master teacher says, that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm doing. I'm transforming you from mere mortals into deities without you even recognizing it. See? Now, this is these classes that we're given here is like another installment. And these installments or these classes is what we need to hear these on a regular basis, different classes that is here to elevate our minds so we can have at least an understanding to grow into an understanding of these concepts. Then once you begin to get an understanding or become conscious of these concepts, your mind will start to open up and you begin to realize all power and deities are most high. It's not outside the self, but it's within self. You see, so we have been taught to look outside of ourselves rather than take the journey in and out. And that is called introspection. That's one of the processes of the journey. You want to say something, Simon, before we continue? Go ahead.
Robert.
Man.
Quick question. It might be a little bit off topic, but it's just something that I've been kind of wanting to ask.
That popped into the head. Go ahead.
So I've been watching a lot of energies and what's coming out of Africa at the moment, especially with in era of Burkina Faso and Ibrahim and things like that. And the energy that I'm getting is that they're doing real powerful things for, I want to say, us. Yeah.
Say it though.
Yeah.
Us. Say
us.
Okay, us. Yeah,
us.
yeah. Don't be afraid, brother.
No, I'm not afraid.
We're us. Us
yes,
here. Okay.
us.
Us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know if the master teacher has said anything about things that are going on in Africa right now, or things to come, or especially Ibrahim Traore. So,
Traore,
yeah. Has he mentioned anything about the whole situation or anything that's going on right now?
Not directly, but indirectly in books, he's posted that the planet Earth is shifting from a 23.5-degree axis to perpendicular. And that shift, the energies have shifted, the power has shifted, it's going to Africa. I was reading that the other day. I think it's in the Mind Scroll. Is it in the Mind Scroll? Let me quickly have a look in the Mind Scroll.
Sorry if I'm going a bit off.
No, that's not about it. No, you asked the question, so we're here to answer it. I'm trying to see if it's in the Mind Scroll. It's reading something. No, it's not in the Mind Scroll, is it? One of the brothers, maybe it's online. Terry or one of the other guys there talking about it. The energies of the planet Earth is shifted or is shifting, and power is going to Africa. See, and a lot of wealth, oil, etc., is directed to Africa. And the master teacher calls it the southeast gate is opening or is opened. And religious people are praying to the east and they're praying to demons as opposed to shifting their attention to the southeast gate. That's where the energies are coming from now. See? So he's saying that, yeah, the power is coming back to Africa. Okay. All we have to do, as we stated earlier in the class, is align ourselves with those power forces or 9 etheric forces. That's all we have to do. And I'll say something else also. Stand out of his way and let him kill himself. Yeah, that's all we have to. 2 things we have to do. 1, stand out of his way, let him kill himself, because it's not our fight. It's the evil versus the wicked. And we just have to align ourselves with those 9 etheric forces. And I say ourselves with all intent and purposes, because ourselves means just us, like you said, just us, justice for us. Yeah, because if you talk about this, the Malta sister earlier on, we're saying that alignment is where we get our power from. When we align ourselves together, when we are in synchronicity with each other, or when we synergize ourselves with each other, come together as one force, unity, be in unison and harmony. I look at you, brother, because you're the musician, you know, in unison and harmony. That's all we need to do. That's where our power lies. Unison and harmony. Synchronicity, that's a scientific term, synchronicity, you see. Because 9 ether is a unifying force. 6 ether forces are uncooperative force. It's not beneficial to our unification. See? That's why they call, sorry,
The opposite.
the opposite. That's right. Opposite, yeah. Very good you said that, because the forces of nature alternates and alterates. Alternates, go back and forth, and alternates, changes form. The energies change. Now the energies are now in the, as you said earlier on, the energies, or we say ba tasu ak nashat at, the 9 etheric energies are now in our favor, conspiring to our advancement. And that came with the coming in of Pa Nabab Yananan and Wunawap Wu-Sabat. We are in the here and now. This is
Rahul,
our day at time. Go ahead, Zamal.
yeah, I just wanted to give you the reference for its actual fact 14, the procession change. That's the Partarat. I mean, sorry, the actual fact you're referring to.
What's this?
from verse 1:1-2.
Want to read that first, please, Zamal?
Torah. So it says, so now it is time for emotional movement by the heart of the man, Geb, as Nunet, to relocate as it is just left, and the new location to which it just moved to, Africa, is also enormous. 1:13, for the place is just left, the Middle East, the spiritual energies are now gone, and evil six ether forces have taken over, and now there is much bloodshed, killing there where their religions were born. 1:14, and to that place it will never return, for the place it is just moved to, Africa, a new revitalized spiritual energy of Wu-Nuwapu have appeared out of the West and will dramatically affect the Africans who live in Africa and accept Wu-Nuwapu. 1:15, there in turn affect the entire planet with our renewing of 9 ether forces. 1:16, what is the planet Earth's energy force? It's 9 ether forces born of Nunet and Nun. It's at the polar plexus, it's at the solar plexus of the planet, the heart seat, Parkut. I'll just read the last couple of verses. 1:17. It will be best explained from human perspective because the planet Earth and the Negroid's body are the same, brown soil, black mud, and it's identical energetically. 1:18. Not only is the planet Earth's energy force the same as that of the African human beings, also such massive energy fields of the planet and humans' energy fields are exactly the same. 1:19. Ever electromagnetic geometrical field within the force field of the Earth is exactly identical to African Negroid persons on Earth everywhere.
There you go.
I yield.
I'll tell that Zamal. So a lot has been said there. Did everyone get that? It shows you how. So when we go back to FAC, we said the F is in line with the planet Earth. You can see now the synchronicities. You can see now the intelligent design by way of those forces, how we are made in conformity with the Earth. And because we are in conformity with the Earth, we're in conformity with the cosmos. We're talking about the sun, moon, and the stars. Okay, and you hear what Sakan did mention about the solar plex of the Earth, that central sun. He mentioned earlier on how we meant to align our solar plex with the central sun or the solar plex of the Earth, and the other sun that's outside Pa Shamash. Okay, so there, the power is there. So hope that answers your question, bro.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Just one more thing before you, go.
Before we go home. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go there. Yeah.
No, I've also been watching a lot of self-healing and natural remedies and things like that. And a lot of Western scientists now are actually coming out admitting that their medication that they've been giving us for years is basically no good, and that things like cancer, they are now admitting that the actual cure for cancer is natural remedies like turmeric and all those natural things that we should have been taking from a long time. And in order to cure cancer, it's all down to your natural body healing itself. They're literally coming out with that now. Well, the ones that are, I don't know what they call whistleblowers, but
whistleblowers,
yeah, they're coming out with it now. I just wanted to just share that because I've been kind of preeing what they're going on with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it all aligns with what's going on in Africa and natural healing and getting back to
nature,
who we naturally are. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's my So we are beings of natural nature. And like everything else, the master just said like this: it's an inevitability. It is an inevitability. Their demise is an inevitability, and our rise is an inevitability. You see, so it's there. I mean, okay. David wants to collaborate on a note review. Invitation to take notes. Start collaborating there. What's that mean? I don't know what that means.
Robert,
Go ahead, somebody want to say something, Samuel?
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, in your previous lecture, you mentioned about the library of thoughts that you can get good lectures there. Remember?
Say that again. I've gone to
The library of thoughts on
okay.
YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, and the library of thought, I went to the channel and it was talking about getting the Cabellion. But there is no, is there any other means we can get the Cabellion?
Oh, the Cabellion. Yes. You want to know what it means?
No, to get the book.
Oh, the book. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You can actually download that on PDF. Yeah, because you get it from on PDF. Just type in the Cabellion and it will come up. Yeah, within the Cabellion.
Do we have different versions? Because from what they said, it's like we have different versions that give deep explanation to what thought was trying to convey.
Okay. Yes. If you want the best explanation of what Thoth or Tahuti was conveying, is to get the sacred wisdom of Tahuti written by the master. That's the best rendition or explanation of that, because you actually get it from the source. So the Library of Thoth, yeah, it's still good listening. It's still good. It's very, very good listening. Let's say when you listen to that, I would say about 74%, 76% is accurate. But again, take what's useful and reject what's not. But that's a very, very good listeners. That's another YouTube channel that's recommended. It's called The Library of Thoth. Okay. And that's a very, very good listening. It's like an AI is talking, narrating in English voice, but it's very, very good listening. See. And also when you listen to that and you read actually any of the scrolls of the master teacher, you realize that what we have been taught unawares is the Egyptian mysteries. That's what the master teacher's given us, the Egyptian mysteries. In most of the majority of the scrolls is based on the Egyptian mystery system. And some of them, he's like this, that scroll there, natural ether energy and neuroplasticity, neuroscience of Wu-Sabat, etc. The mind scroll, all the scrolls the master's given us, it's actually coming from the Egyptian mystery system. So they, like Napoleon Hill and Neville Goddard, etc., they studied the Egyptian mysteries. The master's now given us information, transformed into information coming from the Egyptian mystery system and more. The master alchemist is with us. The master quantum physicist is with us. The master scientist, the master teacher, the master is with us. What I mean? Giving us what we need. I came giving you what you want. You wanted to be spooked out so that you will learn to want what I have really come to give. This is it. This is it. Plus there's more. And it's here to give us once we have a, do you know something, fam? Let's say it like this. With all these concepts you're saying, as we said before, get this in our head. And doors will open up, because what he has given us is what we call the master key. I talk about the book, The Master Key System, but Pana Babyanandan has given us the master key. Not a literal key, or a physical key, but a mental key to unlock the locked doors. Once we use the master key to unlock, the term is master key, because there are many doors within us that needs to be unlocked. Once we start unlocking the doors, we then could open the doors. Unlock one door, open it, walk through, unlock another door, open it, walk through. Keep on doing that, bam, 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 and then you will see the black light. Don't they say, walk into the light, walk into the light, walk into the light, get blinded. No, walk into the black light, the violet light. And the master said this: no matter how far you reach in your spirituality, I'll be there waiting for you. He said, but this is what's given us, keys. And this particular scroll, the Sacred Wisdom, that's this scroll here, get this unlocked, or once you start to what it is that it's like this. As you start to elevate in awareness, you'll see more. You're reading the same page, but you're seeing more. You're reading the same, you're seeing more, and you're seeing more, and you're seeing more. And because the veil is lifting. You know, the blinding light of racial blindness and spiritual ignorance is disappearing. Now you're walking into triple blackness. And you'll be able to see into the dark, into the blackness, the black light. Okay, so that's a quick look at what's going on in the Clubhouse. Okay, any questions thus far, fam, before we continue? Go ahead.
Jamal, you have a couple of hands up on Zoom. Link
go ahead.
And then Kaika.
Okay, go ahead on Zoom.
Rahubat Zama.
Rahubat Zamaltat.
I'm currently reading the mind.
Okay.
And I've noticed the number 19 popping up everywhere.
That's right.
So like from scroll 1, it says 19 times 3, 57, and it goes down that way. So may you please elaborate why that is, why the number 19?
All right, yeah, that's a very good question. There's many breakdowns we can give to that. First, let's say like this: we have the 19th elder in our possession. That's Yanun. Okay, part of Babyanana is in our possession. He's the 19th elder. And when we say 19, 1, 9, all numbers range from 1 to 9. All numbers after that is a composite number. Like 10 is 1 and 0, 11 and 1 and 1, then you've got 12, 1 and 2, etc., etc. So all numbers range from 1 to 9, which is 19, which is our number, okay? One of our mystical numbers, and also reference to the presence of the 19th elder, Panababyanana. Okay. Yeah, so there is a mathematical configuration to the number 19. Okay. I try to keep it as simple as I can. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that part makes sense. So the other part that I'm trying to understand, so for an example, scroll 1, it says 19 times 3 equals 57.
Yeah.
And then scroll 2, 19 times 1 equals 19.
Yeah.
So it keeps, the numbers keep changing.
Yeah.
So that is the part that I'm trying to understand. The 19 is constant, but what is multiplied by keeps changing.
Yeah. So you want to know the reason why?
Please.
Yeah, it's quite simply that all it is just the number of verses in each chapter that he's put to it. That's what it is really. Some verses, like you said, there are 57 verses in the first scroll, and if you look at let's take another scroll at random. Scroll number 6, it says, 57 as well. Scroll number 6. Look for another one. Scroll number 19, it's got here, the 209 verses in scroll number 19. So it's just what it is he's just letting you know that how many verses in each individual scroll. Scroll number 17 has got 76 verses, and it's giving you 19 times 4 equals 76. So it's letting you know that of the mathematics behind the number of verses that he's written here. And since you're on the mind scroll, also I hope that makes sense to you, Zamalta. It's just a number of verses.
Sure, now it does.
Great. Welcome. And I just got to add that the mind scroll is one of the very first scrolls the master wrote back in 1962, 1963. At the time, it's called The Mechanics of the Mind. A very powerful scroll. You read that, then when we talk about mental alchemy, reverse engineering, this is the scroll to get. It may be small, but it's packed. Okay. No, anything else before we continue? I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Jamal, you want to say something? Go ahead. Elijah. Anybody else want anything else to say before we continue? Is that it? Elijah. Go ahead, Elijah.
I wanted to know the difference between transformation, transmutation, and what was the other one?
Transfiguration.
Transfiguration.
Okay, yeah, he's got Oh, okay, so we're about to start on transformation. Okay, after we talk about transfiguration, and we said transformation. The process of transformation is from Homo sapien to Homo spiritus. That's the transformation process. When you say transformation, it's a mental process. No longer thinking as a mere Homo sapien, but now you're thinking as we say Homo spiritus, as an Etherean in human form. That's what in essence, that's what it is. Okay. Now, when you talk about what's mental, you talk about transmutation. Mental transmutation is the art of changing and transforming mental states, forms, and conditions into others. I wanted to read page 86. Okay, here it is now. That's it, page 86. So the process of transformation is, we said the process of transformation from Homo sapien to Homo spiritus. Mental transmutation is the art of changing and transforming mental states, forms, and conditions into others. And we said, let's read page 86. There's a subtle difference between transfiguration, transmutation, and transformation. So let's read it here. From the Sacred Wisdom, page 86, it reads, if the universe is mind in its nature, if the universe is mind in its nature, is God or the grand architect of the universe, YHWH, or Theos, then mental transmutation must be the art of changing the conditions of the universe along the lines of matter, force, and mind, solid, liquid, gas, person, places, of things, the triad doctrines. The triad doctrines being matter, force, and mind, solid, liquid, gas, person, places, of things. So you see, therefore, the mental transmutation is really the magic of. I'm just continuing here. I'll say something just now. So you see, therefore, the mental transmutation is really the magic of which the ancient writers had so much to say in their mystical works, and about which they gave so few practical instructions. I'll read that bit again. Mental transmutation is really the magic, and that magic is black magic, of which the ancient writers, the masters, had so much to say in their mystical works, about which they gave so few practical examples. What Baba Yanana is saying here is that it's only those initiates who got initiated into the higher orders were taught the secrets. Okay. If all be mental, then the art which enables one to transmute mental conditions must render the master the controller of material conditions as well as those ordinarily called mental. So if you master your mind, you can also master your material world, because all is mental and mental is all. Everything that we see around us first started with a thought in the mind, then from that thought in the mind, we call it a black print. You had the thought in the mind, then you created like you know, what does the architect do when he writes things down on he writes things down on a piece of paper, a plan drawing or a blueprint. We say a black print. Okay, so he had the thought in his mind, and he put that thought down onto paper. He made a black print, people say the blueprint. Then from the blueprint, from that thought onto paper, he then materialized. He made the thought or the words manifest. Okay. And you read certain scrolls, the master said that the higher beings has come down and just will you see something pop in his hand, like the master said he made sacred ash come from his hand. These are high masters. As a matter of fact, none but advanced mental alchemists have been able to attain the degree of power necessary to control the grosser physical conditions, such as the control of the elements of nature that would make them a god or supreme being, the production or cessation of tempests, meaning they can produce or they can stop like winds or storms. These are the higher beings. The production and sensation of earthquakes. They could produce or they could stop earthquakes. These are the higher beings. Rain, hail, and other great physical phenomena. These beings were gods. That means that let's say you're on the boat and the water, the waves, the sea is rough, and you've got a master on board. You can calm that. You've got the enemy is on the waters there. They can make that ability to make the sea rough and make them drown. These are the masters. Okay, because they were in alignment or in synchronicity, or they had the science of mental alchemy on lock. What's he saying? What part of the Babylon is saying here? Do we have the same powers? No. Not at the moment, but do you have the same powers? Yeah. Yes. Yes. If you have the powers are there, it's just in an inert state or is in an inactive state. But we've got to know the power that's within us. Okay. And that's what everybody fears, the power that's within the Negro man. Okay. Because someone says here, the scroll called the Brain and Halloween, the Sabbath of the Devil, blew my mind. It's good. So once it's been blown, it could reconnect itself again. Yeah. It's called a reverse engineer in your brain. Yes, brother. That's good. You need to know that that you are reverse engineering. Master calls it neuroplasticity. Yeah, you're creating new neurons. You go blew away, now you're recreating. Well done, brother. Okay, so let's read this again. Okay, so read it here. But that such mortals have existed and do exist today. Here it is. So we talk about those beings, those masters that could control of nature, but that such mortals have existed and do exist today. You have one in our midst. Is a matter of earnest facts to all advanced occultists of all schools, from which all came from Egypt. All those occult or all those that have their own little secret societies, has all got their teachings from the source of it all, which is ancient Egypt. That Nababat, or we say Munbab, the masters exist and have these powers. The best teachers assure their students, having had experiences which justify them in such realities and statements. So the masters did things so that their students can experience their powers. These Neterat, supreme beings, do not make public exhibitions of their powers, but seek seclusion from the crowds of mortals, as mortal living and acting as the normal in order to better work their way along the path of attainment and to bring others with them. Just because a person is a Muslim, you don't know who that person is. You mean some old guy with grey beard, he could be a spiritual master, cloaked in religion, and would most probably this is what they do. They would get selected individuals and train them up, blend in with religion. Because you remember that I never heard the story of the master when he went to Egypt. He had to seek out one guy called Mahmoud, and he was a Muslim in Sudan, and that was a master who said, "Step, step, step. Take one step." He took one step, and bam, he was by the pyramids. It wasn't in Cairo. It was in Sudan. He said, "Tuti, the junction of the white and blue Nile." He said, "Step." Took one step, and he was transformed into by the pyramids there. That's a master. Let's go here. We mentioned their existence at this point merely to call your attention to the fact that their power is entirely mental and operates along the lines of higher mental transmutation under the Egyptian doctrine of mentalism. The universe is mental, and mental is in the all. Being the universe is mental, that means the universe and all its contents has intelligence. The sun, moon, and stars has intelligence. Being that we are in the universe as part of the multiverse, of the omniverse, we too have intelligence. So we said, as above, so below. We talk about the macro and the micro, the macrocosm and the microcosm, all have intelligence. And we talked earlier on about how even the electron, I don't know if we said this, the electron also has intelligence, having the ability to operate electrons like a microscopic or miniature particle, has the ability to transform into a wave or operate like a wave and transform back into an electron, exhibit properties of a wave, and it can go back and exhibit properties as an electron. And we have electrons and we have waves moving through us. So what makes us any different? This is called mental alchemy, and it's all mental. So when we are chanting, when we are learning the Misbatia, the language, and we're reading the doctrine of Wu-Sabat, what is happening inside of us? Alchemical transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration. Going to transfiguration in a minute. That's what's happening inside of us. So that's why we call Wu-Sabat our spiritual science. This is the science of Wu-Sabat. Science means to know. To be scientific means one who has knowledge. Okay. And if a person is chanting and don't know why they are chanting, they now fall into the realm of belief. Even though you don't know it and you're chanting, hear this now. I don't talk about Sabians, okay? Oh, no, let's talk about everybody who's chanting, Muslim, blah, blah, blah. Let's say, let's focus on Sabians, we have most part of Sabians. Let's say you're chanting, but you don't know the science, you don't know the build, you don't know the science behind what you're chanting. Hear this. Your intentions is powerful. It is your intentions that is transforming your inner being. And there comes a point whereby, by way of your intentions, you are, I said, transforming, yeah. Your intentions, along with your actions, is giving you the power. And what will happen is, there comes a point whereby you begin to pull or magnetize towards your being person, places, and things that will aid in your elevation. This is the science. This is how it works. This is the science of the synchronicity of the forces of natural nature, 9 ether forces. We don't have the science, but yet, like I say, you can't, you're not the master yet, not yet, but it's within inside of you. It's the 9 ether forces, natural ether energy, is in us in an inner state. It's a state of inertia. It's inactive. But once it becomes activated, what can't you do? You see? It's all there. You follow that? So not to sound too spook nobody out, but this is the teaching, you know what I mean? Do you know what? I felt like I heard some music in my head, but anyway. Okay, somebody says here, Larell says, do the 9 chakras represent the 9 planets? No, they don't represent the 9 planets. The 9 chakras are just energy seats within the human body. We talked about that earlier on. We have 7 major energy seats. The 8th and the 9th chakra is above the human body, but do interplay with the other 7. Yeah, okay, that's next level teachings or transcendent concepts that we have yet to receive from the master. Yeah. And sometimes the teachings is not even physical. The teachings are mental. You get taught by the forces mentally by way of mental telepathy. That's how they teach mental telepathically or inspiration. There are many ways of many modes of learning how they would teach us. That's how the masters work. You know what I mean? These are the higher beings, isn't it? It's got here.
Zamal,
go ahead.
Just one question regarding intentionality.
Go ahead.
Which is when you were speaking about intentionality and alignment, came up the fact that, okay, on this, the breath book, on those meditational experiences, I've been having resistance to start doing them because I don't know if I'll be doing it correctly or not. So once you mentioned that intentionality also brings about alignment, what you're saying is even if I'm not sure if I'm doing correctly, I should do it because the intention is enough to align me throughout the process?
That's right, yeah.
Right, thank you.
That's right, Samal, yeah. It's your intentions and your intentions. And what will happen is, right, you will, like I said, person, places, and things will start magnetizing themselves, itself to you to take you to the next level. You see, that's how it works. That's how the forces work. Okay. Any further questions, Clubhouse, Zoom? There's a lot to unpack in these classes here. I've got another class coming up in my head already for next week, but it's like I might have to continue on this one. Next class is going to be called the Sun Cycle, the death of belief and the birth of knowing. I might have to put that for July. Okay, that's another class as well. That'll blow your mind as well. Like, just give you guys a heads up. Okay, so let's continue reading this, right? Because but students of lesser degree than Parnetarat, supreme beings, the initiates and teachers are able to freely work along the mental plane in mental transmutation. In fact, all that we call psychic phenomena, mental science, new thought phenomena, etc., operates along the same general lines, but there is but one doctrine involved, no matter by what name the phenomena be called. Basically saying that that name is alchemy, mental alchemy. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, and I said to you, brother Elijah, about what transfiguration is. Transfiguration is the art of changing form from one state to another. Now, this is coming from the Holy Tablets, page 643, chapter 6, verse 15. We did a class on that one as well some time back, and it reads 183. There's a lot to read here, bro, but I'm gonna read it. Chapter 6, the Holy Tablets, verse 15, and this is chapter 6, tablet 15, verse 183. It reads, through this process, the whole body, understand from there, through this process, the whole body can biomagnetically be re-encoded and to adapt to a new biological environment. This is about transfiguration, without ever having to experience pain according to the human physiological network, 185. This is done in the event that a transfer of the species to a new environment is necessary for the survival of the Nawapians. What Pant Babyanan is saying here is that, say we need to get off the planet, higher beings will reconfigure your body. That's what it's saying there. Or say, yeah, reconfigure the human body. 189. In order for the Enoshites, forgetful beings, it means to work with the next electron orbital level of the universal. Oh, give me that. Read verse. Sorry, I jumped a few verses. 185. I'll read 185 again. This is done in the event that a transfer of the species to a new environment is necessary for the survival of the Nawapians. That means that you may even need to go off the planet or go underwater. 189. In order for Enoshites to work with the next electron orbital level of the universal mind, the all-powerful, your molecular density level will have to become less dense and grow more transparent in order to participate in multi-dimensional realities. So you're not only talking about going off the planet or under the waters, you're talking about here, you want to go into, you have to move interdimensionally. That's what he's talking about here. So in order to do that, the body has to, what do we say here? Transfigure. Yeah, okay. To participate in multi-dimensional realities. 190. Enoshites must be completely remade anew. Thus, you have Nawapian or the Nubian or new being. Or we use the word is Munbat-u. Munbat-u means the golden ones. Okay. If you go to Patarak, to the menstrual shift, page 6, verse 60 reads, all of these facts and more are a part of a role in the principle underlying the process of ascension and transformation. 61. Dimensions and harmonic multiverses are linked to understanding quantum physics. I'm trying to think of the words, how to explain this. Right. The different multiverses operate on different frequencies, correct? In order for you or us to travel interdimensionally, we have to be vibrating on a higher frequency. Otherwise, we won't be able to make that transportation. Okay. So this is where the chanting comes in. This is where diet comes in. And this is where knowledge comes in. And all these other principles that encompass all that as well. Okay. And it's got here, are linked to understanding quantum physics. And like you said earlier on, the master said that's the next level to divinity, that of a quantum existing being. Okay. Knowing that we have existences more powerful than the physical body. And those beings, those Ethereans, have, as we said earlier on, outtellect as opposed to intellect. And Panababi Nanan, he's here to raise us up so that we also make that alignment with those higher beings and also those dimensions. I'll let you know that the dimensions or wormholes is wormholes is an actuality. Let's say it's hypothetical, but it's an actuality. A wormhole basically is connecting one universe to another in a short space of time. Okay. At 62, everything is vibration or frequencies. 63, you understand now that higher frequencies can intermingle with lower frequencies. Beings on high can interact with us on this lower frequency. 64, up to a certain level, they can come down. Only thus far, others they get trapped. So what we have to do is we have to raise ourselves up to a level so that we can meet with them. See. 64, and only by tuning into the correct frequency can you listen and channel so you can receive what's projected or transmitted. So we have to become a transceiver. And it's only by tuning into the correct frequency, we said FAC, okay? There's certain words we've got to pay attention to, what Partner Babylon is saying here, okay? So we've got to align ourselves with the correct frequency so that you can listen, you can hear what's being said, and channel so you can receive what is projected or transmitted. However, a little footnote I'll put here, however, we have to raise ourselves up to the level whereby they can meet us and we with them. 68. All of these dimensions exist in the same space and time as does light and sound. Yet, 69, yet they operate and appear separately. We know that sound is just a slower speed of light. Okay. And light, even though it has waves, in the form of waves, it has information there. So does, what does it say here? So does sound, so it has information, okay? 68, yet they operate and appear separately. 70, because of the variant particle pulsation rate of the atom, yet 69, yet they operate and appear separately. 70, because of the variant particle pulsation rate of the atom or cells. Now, footnote here, atoms and cells of higher vibrations operate on a much faster rate than here in this 3D world. So they are on higher dimensions. There are atoms and there are cells. The only difference is that they are vibrating on a faster frequency than we are. Okay. The master goes into that called emotional energy. He talks about the nutational rate, etc., etc. That goes into a whole new thing. 71. It has to do with tone sounds as used in each word. It says it there. I think that's self-explanatory. It has to do with tones, sounds as used in each word. So basically, not only what we say, but how we say it. That goes back to FAC. Lady Michelle just got language says it's time to pull the shutters down. Let me finish this somehow. 77. when a planet evolves through dimensions, the rate of speed or particle pulsation progressively increases, allowing that planet, as in this case the planet Earth, to evolve through the 8-dimensional scale that ties into the 8 notes of the octave. Okay, there's 9 in it. When you all combine together, that makes it 9 in it. Okay, allowing the planet to evolve through the 8-dimensional scale, it is the same with the human body. I'll read it again. Okay, when a planet evolves through dimensions, as in this planet, things are speeding up, like time seems to be speeding up because the planet is now gone into the 4th dimension and beyond. The rate of speed or particle pulsation progressively increases. The atoms and the cells, everything's moving faster now, allowing that planet, as in the Earth, to evolve through the 8-dimensional scale. It is the same with the human body. So our human body, we have to align ourselves with this incoming sun cycle. Okay, so you've got to have the know-how as opposed to the belief. I think next class I may call that class, or I did have it entitled "The Sun Cycle: Death of Belief and the Birth of Knowing." Before we finish, the AEO chant is FAC. The REO chant, yeah, the REO chant is FAC. Yeah, you could chant. You could chant the REO to the tone or to the note of on F, on A, and or C. Yeah, that's 100% right. So eating right. So much Alchemy, I need that. Eating right, right eating, right breathing, right meditation. That's right. So I have to master those 3: right eating, right breathing, right meditation. That's correct. The REO chant is FAC. That's correct. The REO is you chant it on R. You chanting the R, the E, and the O on the F note for the Earth. The F note, the Earth. The A note is the physical body, and the C note is the cosmos. 100% right. Fam, guess what? Time is speeding up. Finish already. We had a great time today. I know you guys had a great time today. With that being said, fam, we appreciate you too, Laurel. Fam, next class, we will continue from where we left off. Let's say once again, let's say Tao Kom. Thank you all for attending another Wu-Sabat class. Remember that you all, the listening audience, you're the ones who make the class, and we have the interaction. That's what helps to give it life, give it energy, nashat, higher life, energy, sakhan, power, and all those other fantastic qualities. With that, I'd like to say, Wadu, until next class, Akhrus, give and take care.
Wadu.
Tauku Mustar,
Raju,
Ashok,
Tautak,
Wadu.